Right from the start, things are already heating up. Alex just wants to catch his train, but the station staff have other ideas. He's paid for his ticket, he's rushing, and yet somehow this simple commute is about to turn into a full-blown confrontation with British Transport Police. Stick around because you won't believe how far this escalates from a ticket issue to a clash of logic versus procedure.
Hi there. So you just agree that you're happy for me to record the conversation, yeah?
Yes.
Well, very pleased to see you this morning. How are you doing?
Thank you. And yourself?
A little bit agitated. I haven't been allowed free travel to get from here to Lime Street.
Free travel in
Well,
what?
to go about my business. I'm being denied exit from the station.
Right. Have you purchased a ticket
Yes.
where you boarded the train?
I purchased the ticket and I can
Yeah.
show evidence of that.
Right. Have you printed that ticket
I wasn't
off?
able to get it printed now.
Right. Is there a reason why you were unable to get it printed
I was running
off?
for the train. I have to be in a really important meeting in Reading, and I had to run to get the train because it was going to cause me enormous problems if I didn't get that train and was delayed for that really important meeting in Reading.
Right.
And I thought, quite reasonably,
Yeah.
that I've paid for a ticket.
Yeah.
I can prove I paid for a ticket. I can prove I've got the code for the ticket. And
Notice here how Alex remains calm and cooperative, showing proof of purchase and offering to resolve everything immediately. From a policing standpoint, this is where de-escalation should happen. A simple verification could have ended this in seconds, but instead, we see a complete breakdown of common sense. What would you do if an officer ignored your proof and insisted on escalating things unnecessarily?
I literally, as I've said to these people, all I need to do is to go there to get that ticket and to show these people the ticket that I have purchased and paid for. And they're denying me an ability to do that. I understand their reasoning. All I'm saying is I paid for a ticket. So my belief is that in law, I can show I've had no intent to defraud anybody.
Yeah.
I haven't travelled this network trying to travel without a ticket, and I can evidence that. And so I did not intend to give these people my personal details. I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I'm not going to give them to you. Should you, of course, arrest me, I will, of course, give you my personal details,
Yeah.
and I will abide by the empowerment that you have. But I think, frankly, I can travel the country, I can go to Reading, I can go to Manchester, I can go all over the place, get a ticket, I can tap my phone on devices. It's only here in Liverpool that we seem to have this archaic system with these people who cause these problems for people who are just trying to pay for tickets and go about their daily business.
Here's the core of the problem. Alex isn't breaking the law, he's following it. What the staff and officer are enforcing is company policy, not criminal law. His analogy about standing on one leg perfectly highlights how absurdly rigid rules can be misapplied when someone prioritizes procedure over logic. This is a key moment showing the difference between lawful compliance and arbitrary enforcement.
Their own business, which is all I'm trying to do.
Right, okay. Obviously, when you do purchase your ticket on the train line, you do have to tick to the terms and conditions that you have to print it off.
I don't know, nobody ever reads that stuff, do they?
I know, but unfortunately you do need,
Okay.
as you say, on this network here for Merseyrail, they do require you to have the said ticket
Okay.
printed off, ready for inspection at the gate or at the barriers
I take
here.
your point. I take your point.
Yeah.
All I would say is that anybody can have a policy. Anybody can make a rule. Yeah, doesn't mean it's a criminal offence. Doesn't mean it's a civil offence. I don't believe I've committed an offence. I mean, they may think I've broken their procedures and policies. That's fine. I don't believe I've committed any offence because I paid money for a ticket to travel, and I can prove that.
Yeah,
so
you
where is
have
my
got,
offence?
No, but you have got your ticket, but you've not printed the
Okay,
said ticket
so
off.
where's my civil
where
or
you
criminal
should have
offence?
But you should have printed it off
Yeah.
before you
You
travelled.
you could say you've got to
because
stand
it-
on what... Sorry to
Well,
interrupt.
no, it does say, obviously, on the train stations and on the trains, that you have to have your ticket
Yeah.
ready to present to these guys. And if you
I
have
get
it
what
on
you're
the
saying.
phone, which is the actual ticket,
And I presented
yours
it.
isn't the actual ticket.
Ah.
Yours is proof to say you've purchased a ticket,
Yeah.
but you've not yet
So-
you've not yet printed that said
I see
ticket
what you're
off.
saying, but
Yeah.
my point is slightly different. My point is that what's happened, you could have a rule.
Pay close attention here. Alex is citing Bylaw 18 of the Railway Bylaws 2005, which requires intent to avoid payment for an offense to actually exist. He has no intent to defraud. From a legal perspective, this is massive. Without intent, there's no criminal offense, only a procedural misstep. It's a textbook example of how context and intent matter more than rigid rule following.
On the terms and conditions on Merseyrail saying everybody on the train has to stand on one leg, and everybody would have to stand on one leg, and you could threaten people if they didn't stand on one leg. Now that would be crazy, much as this is crazy, but it's not breaking the law if people don't do it. They're breaking your rules, and that's the difference I'm trying to get across to you.
This is their bylaws that it is a ticket theory, which we do have to have a said ticket to come onto the station, and for as soon as you board the train, you should have a ticket of travel, unless your train station is closed and then you've taken a picture to say it's closed. Come to these guys and they will sell you a ticket.
It's often closed, it's often nobody there, and then it would be fine.
But you've purchased your ticket already, but unfortunately, because you haven't printed it off, you should have printed it off before you travelled.
So my point to you again is that I've looked at the bylaws, and I may be wrong, but I've read the bylaws, and my understanding of the bylaws is that they say if you break these bylaws, you may be taken to court. And if you're taken to court, and it can be shown that there's an intent to defraud, you may be prosecuted. Now I can show there was no intent to defraud. So if we go to court, it's all going to be very annoying for me, very embarrassing for Merseyrail, but I can show there was no intent to defraud, so I don't believe that I'm in any kind of situation where I've broken these bylaws. I'm on the train, I paid for the ticket, I'm trying to go about my business, these people are stopping me. All of our problems, it's not your fault, I know, all of the problems we're having is because you've got these crazy laws.
Now watch the PCSO trying to justify their position by suggesting Alex could have done something dishonest if they weren't present. This is pure hypothetical policing. It's guessing, not law enforcement. Meanwhile, Alex is offering to immediately print his ticket, proving beyond doubt that there's no wrongdoing. This shows how quickly laziness and assumption can turn into false accusations.
Bylaws that are about 10, 15 years out of date. The world has moved on. We all buy tickets online. We all represent those on our phones. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm being stopped from doing.
Can I just explain to you what my colleagues tried to explain? So the train line tickets, as you said rightly, you have to print out the tickets. If it's not printed out, it's not valid to travel on the train.
I know this is what the lady said to me.
It's not valid on the train.
And what I'm saying is that
Can I just explain to you?
Yes.
What happened is sometimes people buy train line tickets.
Yes.
They don't print it. They do the journey. They complete the journey.
Yes.
What happens is they get refunded.
Well, that would be terrible.
They get refunded.
That would be terrible.
Okay. So some people does that. Okay. I'm not saying you do.
No.
Your intention to do that.
Specifically,
on these occasions.
Specifically, I asked these people to let me go just over there, to print the ticket, and they would see I'd printed the ticket, and they would know that it had been
their
paid.
understanding would be if they went here, you would have done the journey, and you got the refunded as well from the train line, which some people does that. So
have you had anybody leaving Liverpool Central Station without paying?
So
because you can't get past
let me
these
explain.
people.
So at the moment, you traveled with.
Here's a key procedural mistake. The officer blindly believes the ticket inspectors can demand personal details. They can't, unless there's clear evidence of fraud. This is a classic example of outsourcing judgment to someone with no legal authority. For viewers, this is why understanding your rights and what authorities can legally demand is crucial. Blind compliance can escalate unnecessary conflicts.
Without the valid tickets.
You're saying that,
yes. Okay.
But you said that.
Is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's on the terms and conditions. Without valid tickets.
We'll disagree on that. That's okay.
You can deal with them as a civil matter, as you said.
Yes.
Yeah. You can give your details to them.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
And if you don't, then the police get involved.
Yep.
Police get involved.
As indeed
the criminal matter.
Yes.
Where it's dealt as a ticket fraud.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving these people my details. Because I've paid for a ticket.
This is what's happening now.
There cannot be ticket fraud
Okay.
because I've paid for the ticket.
But that's not a valid ticket,
There's
sir.
no intention to defraud in law.
Well, we don't know because.
Well, I can prove it. I mean, I can show you the receipt and I can get it printed. There's no intention to
As I
defraud.
say, it's not valid.
Okay, well, you know, if we have...
reliably informed, that's not a valid ticket. It's
Okay.
a reference number for a ticket.
Well, I've had all
that
three of you
you
inform me that.
purchased. You should have
Yeah.
printed your ticket
So-
off before you travel.
So, can I just go and print the ticket off?
No, you should have done it before you travel.
Oh, I see.
You
So-
can't travel without
So
a
you're
valid
going to
ticket.
take me to court because you won't let me print the ticket. Okay, well, let's do it then. What do we do next?
Obviously, you need to provide your details to these people
I'm not
here.
going to.
Can I just is there a reason why you don't want
Yeah,
to?
because I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I don't believe I have to give them to
They
them.
do have the power to take your details.
No, they don't.
They do. They are accredited.
I don't believe that. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Well-
I will give. If I'm arrested, I will give my details to the arresting police officer
Yeah.
when hearing the basis upon which I'm being arrested, because that will then be used.
Unbelievable! The officer decides to arrest Alex, even though he could prove payment immediately. This is policing by procedure, not reason. Arresting someone who is fully compliant defeats the purpose of law enforcement and turns a solvable misunderstanding into a high-drama scenario. What's striking is how heavy-handed enforcement can punish compliance rather than reward it.
In the course of law.
Right. At the moment, I do have a necessity because you're not failing to provide your details.
I will not provide my details
But-
until I'm arrested.
Yeah. Why would I want to arrest you?
Well, I don't want you to arrest me, but
Yeah,
I'm not,
and I don't want to arrest
nobody
you and
has any
take you
business-
to custody.
Yeah,
And
I really
you've
don't
got
want
a
that
meeting
either.
to get
I
to.
really don't want
I've
that.
still got things to do today,
I'm
obviously.
not going to be pressured into giving
Yeah.
people my details. I have a right not to have the right to privacy. I will not give people my details and you're pressuring me to do that. I don't believe you have a right to take my details until you arrest me. If you arrest me, if there is a basis for you to arrest me, and you arrest me, and you tell me why I'm being arrested, I will of course comply and I will of course give my details. But I
Right.
will be arrested first before I give that information.
But then, what I'm going to say, if I arrest you, then
Yeah.
I take it on a police matter.
Yeah.
Where you provide your details to them.
Yeah.
You fill a complaint form in. You're not happy because of the system. So why don't you write to me,
Well,
and explain
we,
to them
we really
the
need to change this system. And when this goes on social media, a lot of
Here's a crucial legal distinction. Paying for the ticket is a legal requirement. Printing it is a bylaw requirement, not a criminal one. That means Alex isn't committing fare evasion, he's simply not fulfilling a procedural checkbox. This difference is huge because it highlights how companies sometimes misapply administrative rules to justify overreach. Always know what's law versus policy.
people are going to start talking about why the system needs to change, because it's broken. I can travel all around the country paying online using my phone.
Yes, but
That's
you
just
haven't
normal.
got the ticket.
I have
You
paid for
have
a ticket,
yeah, but that's
and I can
just a
print that
reference
ticket
number.
just over there.
Yes, but you should have
And I can
printed the ticket before you travel.
And you're going to arrest me for that.
Right, say, obviously, we're just going round in
We are,
circles,
yeah.
aren't we?
We are, yeah.
Right. Just give me 1 minute.
What an absolute waste of everybody's time. These people must have far better things to do than wasting their time with me for this kind of thing. These rules really need to change, because, you know, we're so far behind the rest of the country in Liverpool. It's quite unbelievable, you know. So the lady who spoke to me now doesn't seem to be arresting me. I'm not entirely sure if she's legally empowered to arrest me as British Transport Police. That's up in the air. She seems to be on the phone, so I'm suspecting that she may be calling the police who may then come to talk to me and come to arrest me. So this is just even more of a waste of everybody's time. But fundamentally, I don't believe that I should be required to give anybody my details unless they're a duly empowered police officer and I'm being arrested for some kind of crime, which I don't believe I've committed in any way, shape or form, because there was no intent for me to defraud. And I can show that and I can prove that.
In summary, Alex handled this perfectly. He proved payment, stayed calm, and challenged blind rule enforcement. The officers escalated unnecessarily, showing what happens when procedure overrides logic. This incident reminds us why knowing your rights is essential and why oversight matters.
If you found this breakdown as intense as we did, hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more real-life body cam breakdowns.